At the UN in Geneva, the United Arab Emirates was at the centre of attention on Monday, but as they were lining up with the national flag, one floor above, diplomats lined up to highlight how the UAE needs to improve its human rights. One of the areas of concern in the recent UN report is arbitrary detention and torture. That's something NAJI HAMDAN knows all about. The US-Lebanese businessman was arrested at his home in Abu Dhabi, he still doesn't know why, held in an unknown location and beaten over many months. He was eventually convicted of supporting terrorism based on a confession made under duress.
The senior interrogators threatened to do things to my wife. I couldn't take it after that. All the physical abuse was, somehow tolerant. But when it came to that, and I know he was serious, because whatever he said before, he did. I could not. I told him, whatever you want, I'll sign anything.
At a side event at the UN, victims of abuse and their lawyers spoke out. People like David HAIGH. As managing director of Leeds United Football Club, he travelled to the UAE to resolve a business dispute. He was thrown into jail where he says he was tortured and sexually abused. He now works to get legal redress for people who've gone through similar experiences.
I've seen it time and time again where unscrupulous companies realise that the UAE has a terribly weak and corrupt justice system, open to manipulation and bribery, and they use it as a litigation tool. And it's happening time and time and time again. So when it was happening to me, I thought I was the only one, but I've realised there are hundreds, possibly thousands of others over the years.
The system of secret prisons remains. That hasn't changed at all. Then the unfair trial processes, once persons are brought to regular prisons, continues as well. So there needs to be a root and branch overhaul of the whole system, and they have the opportunity to do that now.
As part of its charm offensive here in Geneva, the UAE is putting on a display of traditional Emirati culture, and in the session itself, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs strongly defended his country's human rights record.
The UAE delegation said they were implementing previous recommendations like better support for foreign workers and tackling domestic violence. But there was little of substance on areas such as ending torture or the death penalty. For many international rights groups, the UAE has a long way to go. Nadim, Al Jazeera at the UN in Geneva.